This is Tom from Rabbitinabar, and some people have asked me how we recorded our first single, Bleed. And I'm going to show you how we did the first production step in Reason. And I guess the most prominent sound that we really need to talk about is the um, the vocal sound at the beginning. And here is what it sounds like. I said it already. I said it's a vocal sound because it does sound like a synthesizer, but in fact it's a vocal. And I'm going to open the insert effects for that particular track so you can see what we did. And not just to see, but also to hear, I'll bypass everything and go back to the recording. This is what it sounds like without any effects. This is actually me doing a falsetto um, in the backing vocals, so to speak, and we cut it out and put it through its paces. So first, let me deactivate everything that we have in there, so I can show you step by step. And the first thing it goes through is the attack cutter, and this is what it sounds like. And as you can hear, this is already pretty close to the sound that we want, but of course we want to make it a little bit more dirty. So what I did was I went ahead and added the scream distortion, set it to tape, left everything else off, didn't bring up the damage too much, and this is what that sounds like. As you can hear, it dirties up the sound a little bit, and that's what I was going for. Then I added another sound, and this is a preset from the Echo, and that basically rounds it off. There you go. That's pretty much that sound. But as you can see, I called this Scary Vox, by the way, because I felt it sounded a bit scary. We have a second version. Oops, sorry for that delay effect. That was because I don't know, some feedback going on. And we have pretty much the same kind of setup, but instead of I left out the distortion, but instead I added a reverb at the end. And let's listen to that, the way it sounds without any effects. There you go. It's actually very close recording sound wise from to the other one. I'm sorry, I need to oh yeah, sorry. There you go. Now let's activate one by one. Let's leave the alligator activated, but let's turn off these two. And as you can see, I'm not afraid of using presets because, well, why not? I think looking at other instruments like guitars, for example, everybody knows that's the Marshall sound, or that's the Fender sound, that's the Vox sound, or whatever. And everybody knows how to dial that in. So why not use the same idea in synthesizers or in effects units? So there you go. This is what it sounds with just the anticipation pendulum applied. By the way, that's not saying that I'm always using these stock sounds or presets. Usually I take a preset and modify it, so I can change things. Here's what it sounds like with just the alligator. And that wouldn't make much sense in the context. So here's another delay. And again, that doesn't make much sense. We want this to be very diffuse and yeah, not to pin down where exactly the sound comes from. So that's why we added the reverb here. And again, on its own, that would probably not make much sense in that particular arrangement, but together with the other scary Vox sound, it makes total sense. Listen to this. So that's that. Now let's go and have a look at the drums. As you can see, there are quite a number of different drum sounds involved. I have Kong 1, Kong 2, I have the Dr. Octorex here, I have another Dr. Octorex here, I have a lot of recordings, as you can see. Kong 3 and 4, I have reverse sounds, and this, by the way, is me recording. But let's start with this very first Kong. This is basically the sound that you hear in the in the verses. And of course, this is the very first chorus, but you also hear it here because we decided that we wanted the rock drums to come on a little bit later, so we have more tension in the song. But basically, this is a very, very simple pattern. Um, just listen to this. There's not much going on. It's just the simplest, the most simple pattern you could imagine is used in here. But we combined that with something else. Here's the second Kong, and all that does is basically, well, listen to it. And again, that doesn't really sound very exciting. We're not going for a very complicated drum groove. We actually wanted this to be very simple, but we added another layer of rhythm with a tabla sound. And this is what it sounds like. And as you can see, these tablas have quite a lot of effects going on. First of all, we cut out all of the lows pretty much. And we added the bouncing effect from the alligator, and I have to admit it's one of my favorite effects, the scream distortion. And unlike the voice recording, what I did here was basically take a preset. It's called Vintage Loop. It's tape distortion as well. We added some equalization again, and also the body is set with a very high scale. The type is A, and resonance is also set quite low. So let's switch these off and listen to the tabla on its own. This is what it sounds like. this is what it sounds like after adding or after adding the EQ. You can hear there's this little fizz going on in the highs. And this is what happens if you add the bouncing effect. Sounds quite nice, but not the way I want it to, so that's what we did here. And that is exactly the effect I was going for. Let's switch off the solo and listen to the very first chorus.
I still believe I'm still alive. Might be painful, I'll survive. I still breathe, I'm still alive. And so my dreams and my desire, I still believe.
As you can hear, there's a lot more going on other than the sounds I described to you. I played the bass myself. And as you can see, this is the standard line 6 amp. If you, in case you're wondering why I use the line 6, I'm still on Reason 6.5.
I still believe I'm still alive. Might be painful, I'll survive.
That's one of the vocal sounds, vocal recordings. And again, there's quite a bit going on. First of all, we have the equalizer, which doesn't do very much, just a slight boost from starting at 1.2. We have a saturation, and we have a delay. And this is what it sounds like without it.
I still believe I'm still alive.
The reverb actually comes from the insert effects on the mixing console, the virtual mixing console, the SSL that we all know and love. So let's switch off these effects so you can hear the difference each single one makes.
I still believe I'm still alive. Might be painful, I'll survive. I still breathe, I'm still alive. And so my dreams and my desires.
What I really love here is the fact that there is some distortion or at least overdrive on the vocals, but you mainly hear it in the delay, not in the main vocal. Now, the vocals were pretty much a big problem because I recorded them with the SM58 just as a demo, and actually I wanted to re-record them afterwards. But for some reason, no pun intended, I thought the feeling that I was trying to convey was already matched with that vocal recording. But problem was I wasn't on pitch. So I exported all of the vocals dry and then sat down with a friend who's really good at producing vocals, and he helped me pitch them correctly in a plugin. It was a Waves plugin. Now we re-imported them into Reason, and then this is what we got. So we talked about the vocals and the drums. Let's go to the guitars. As I said earlier, I'm still on Reason 6, so this is why you see all the Line 6 guitars here. I chose a blackface clean sound and added a little chorus here. I then copied the track because I usually like to have different tracks for chorus and verse, but I wanted the same kind of the same basic kind of sound, so that's why I copied the track with all the effects I had in it, just to tweak it later on. But it helps you separate in the mix if you need to go louder or less loud. And one thing that you might have noticed at the very beginning of the guitar track, you can hear that I'm using a reverse effect, which I use very often on vocals and guitars. I cut off the beginning, reverse it, sometimes with additional reverb or delay or both, and then paste it in front. This is what it sounds like. Now let's go to the verse. As you can hear, pretty much the same sound. Then we have um, um, and then we have an overdriven guitar sound. It's called Guitar 2. That's this one, and that's the guitar sound for the chorus. And we have another guitar sound. Oops, I showed you the second one first. This is the other one. And this is what they sound together. Now, some might say that doesn't sound very good, uh, also because they seem to be a bit off. But if you switch off the solo and listen to the whole arrangement, you will see that the guitars actually play left and right, so to speak, of the beat. And this is something that Keith Richards and Ron Wood have done in the Rolling Stones quite successfully, I may add. Let's listen to the whole thing together.
I'm still free, I'm still alive. Painful outside, I'm still free, I'm still alive. So my dream.
So now let's go into the rock drums here. Um, as you can see, we put on a lot of EQ. We added a scream distortion and also the pulverizer. Let's listen to it just with the EQ. And as you heard before, there's quite a lot of vocals going on. There's a choir, there's a double, and so on and so forth. But the final mixing was done in Ableton. And let's switch over to Ableton.